This is a sad time. Very sad time. Look at what is happening in the world. Let's use America. People got to line up for food. People don't know about jobs. People are begging how to get money. And that is only now. What is going to happen in the next few weeks? So we all know that, right? What about people dying? Do you see what is happening? People who die from coronavirus, my brothers and sisters, they are dumping them like dogs in a container. And if a dog dies, anybody can go take a shovel, pick up the dog, and bury it. But a human being who dies from coronavirus, what happens? Body bag. They take you and cremate you. In some places, Muslims are striving very hard to get the body, get the bodies, put it in a couple body bags before they just throw you and cremate you. Look at what has happened. Families cannot visit you, husbands and wives, relatives. We are living in a time that our own relatives and friends and dear ones do not want to, and they cannot come and see us if we die. What a sad time. So why should we spread false news and fake news? Aren't we scared that if we fall sick, if some harm would fall upon us, we are causing harm to people? It is so sad when I see in other countries Muslims and people who die, how they gotta just handle you like any regular animal. Actually, they take more precaution with animal. And now you can harm so many people. This is very sad. But we can't do anything about that. What we need to do is what? Straighten our lifestyle. Try to live a better life. That when people do their duty to Allah, obey Allah haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. As Allah should be obeyed, as we should do our duty to Allah, Allah says, yaj'allahu makhraja, that He will take us out of problems. Subhanallah, look at it. He will take us out of difficulties. He will save us from disasters and calamities. Those Muslims who believe have no choice but to accept this. Otherwise, we are not believers if we disobey the Quran. And Allah is saying, if we go the 9 yards to do our duty to Allah, yaj'allahu makhraja. My brothers and sisters, what a verse, especially for nowadays. Nowadays, this coronavirus that is hitting the whole world. Never in history what we are experiencing. They have had many viruses in the past. But what is happening right now in the entire world has never happened. Has never happened. And if never before have we ever put our trust in Allah and strive to do our duty to Allah 100% as Allah expects us to do, now is the time. With all these problems, it's not like a time when a certain country or some third world country has some major flood and disasters and calamities and earthquakes and tornadoes, but this is hitting all the high-tech technological countries. They're superpowers in the world. And Muslims and people and humanity, we are all part of this. So this is a time when people need to reflect, to ponder, to meditate, to do more ibadat and worship of Allah, more than we have been doing before. But when we add to the corruption, by doing wrong things, by not praying, by not being charitable, by not being kind and loving. A Muslim is someone who should not harm someone with his or her tongue. What did the Prophet ﷺ say? A Muslim is someone whose neighbor is safe from his tongue and hands, meaning that you will not harm that person with your tongue. You will not harm that person, your neighbor, with your hands. Today, people are using their phones. Very sad. And they are sending false messages throughout the world and harming thousands of people throughout the world. So we are harming people with our tongue, with our hands. What is this? And not just the neighbor, but so many people. Now is the time, Allah says, وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And when you do your duty to Allah in this verse, chapter 65, verse 2 and verse 3, when you do your duty to Allah, Allah will provide for us مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ, from beyond our imagination that we cannot even imagine. You know, nowadays we are imagining what is going to happen. Coronavirus, people dying, jobs, people jobless, money, problems, difficulties. Just as we are worried as to what will ever happen, Allah is saying, if you do your duty to Allah, beyond our imagination, He will provide for us. And He will take us out of problems and trouble. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. For certainly those who put their trust in Allah, Allah is sufficient.